You need to hear this today, and there are two things we're going to cover. First, we're going to go to Gav. He's the CEO of Wolf Financial. He was at the opening bell when the stock market started going, wait, banking crisis? What's going on? I want to hear his take of what things look like over there, but I'm also going to cover a second thing, which is what's being swept under the rug, the things that you really need to know about that the mainstream media is literally avoiding. Actually, more than avoiding, they are attacking crypto right now. I want to show exactly how that's all working. Now, let's go to Gav and let's have a conversation about what's actually happening and the feeling of it out there. Gav, thank you so much for joining us. And I know that it's all your fault because you rang the bell that Friday when everything started to take place, right?
Yep, I was up there on the podium at the NYSE that morning, and I'll tell you, I have never seen, I've been to the NYSE several times, I've never seen traders running and screaming on the floor. So maybe we're bringing back the 80s.
Oh boy, that's an exciting time for us to be alive and see all of this. And when I say exciting, I mean, it's not always good, even though some people are trying to make it sound like everything is fine. And that's what I really want to get to the bottom of. The government right now is trying to make this sound as a no bailout, where there's no real bailout because they're only taking care of the people that were depositing money. We're not talking about helping investors. In your opinion, is this a bailout?
It's riding the fine line, and it's really, rather than bailout, this is just quantitative easing, right? Just underneath a different name. It's basically QE, and it's arguably one of the largest rounds of QE that we've ever seen. The government is saying that they are going to take money from the insurance deposits that banks pay. However, what does that size pool look like? Is there enough money in there? Can they pull that money out? And then how do they replenish it, right? So, and is it fair for all the other banks to have to pay for Silicon Valley Bank only having 3% of their assets under FDIC insurance, right? So it's a lot of questions, but ultimately in my eyes, it looks like it's basically a QE, bailout of sorts that's going on here of 25 billion or whatever it ends up being with the number. And ultimately, although they're saying no taxpayer dollars will go towards it, it will hit us through inflation, right? So yeah,
it always does. It always does. So right now, FDIC insurance is at $250,000. But when they upped that limit last time, I mean, we didn't have this much money in circulation. Right now, they would have had to go up to $750,000 just to match up how many dollars are circulating right now, which is wild in itself. But it seems like that doesn't even matter, does it? If they're saying that all depositors are going to be made whole. Is the FDIC insurance a real thing? Can people trust it from here on out? What do you think the feeling is going to be of the entire, I want to say the entire country and externally? Like, can you trust the federal government to back things up? And if the insurance doesn't really matter, if there are no limits, what does it mean?
Well, I think they're going to keep a limit. I was actually on a Twitter space with Bill Ackman a couple days ago, and he spoke about potentially raising this limit to $1 million on this space, which I thought was an interesting proposal. But ultimately, I don't think it's FDIC insurance that necessarily failed. It's a little bit of a unique case with Silicon Valley Bank, where you look at the majority of banks, most of their depositors aren't Series A startups that just raised $10 million that are putting it all into one account. They're the average retail investor. And because of that, for majority of banks, about 50% of their deposits fall within FDIC insurance versus SVB, where it was only 2.97 or 3%, whatever it was right there, right? So it's a very unique case in my perspective. I don't think this could have happened in a lot of other banks that you would have a rush like this. What I think is going to happen is, one, we're going to see consolidation from regional banks into the massive banks, right? People are going to flee there, and that's unfortunate. Regional banks are a huge part of the banking economy system. There are a lot of small, family-run businesses that are going to suffer because of this. And then in addition, with that note, you're also going to see people opening up way more bank accounts. There was a cool article that came out about Giannis Antetokounmpo, who actually has 50 different bank accounts so that he can get FDIC insurance in as many as possible.
No, I mean, that's even at, small time over here, that's something I do. I try to, diversify where my bank is at so that I can keep that money as safe as possible, even now that it doesn't really matter because we're all going to be made whole regardless of how much money was in there. Regardless of where this goes, you're going to cover it, right? You got a new YouTube channel, you got a bunch of videos going up. You're going to be talking about this and what's happening.
Yeah, we're doing YouTube videos every single day this week. They're going up. It's just @wolf_financial on YouTube, on Twitter. So you can check it out on there. I'm going to be live on Twitter the entire week. I just did 4 hours live this morning on Twitter Spaces discussing this topic and covering it. I was live for 8 hours on Saturday as well. So you can expect for me to be live majority of this week with a video going up every single day on YouTube.
That's fantastic. I really appreciate your time, buddy. We'll definitely catch up soon.
Thanks for having me on.
He's got a great following on Twitter, but he's just kicking off a brand new YouTube channel. You guys should definitely check him out. He's got a lot of great information on there that you guys can definitely benefit from. But let's talk about the part 2 to this whole thing that you guys need to understand what's going on, because Signature Bank was not insolvent. You want to bundle everything together, right? They're taking Silicon Valley Bank and saying, yeah, these guys are making bad decisions, they're insolvent, and we're going to also take care of Signature Bank. And as the government, we're going to take care of people. That is not what is happening here. This is a hostile takeover. Signature Bank did not have any money issues, but the government decided to go, you know what? Let's go ahead and take them out with it, because Circle uses them as the back end to be able to process transactions. So let's go ahead and take care of things our way. And you're going to see that the mainstream media is not telling the truth. Quite the opposite. I mean, yeah, we have this article from Cointelegraph saying that U.S. regulators shut down Signature Bank despite no insolvency. And it goes on to say who's talking about this. It's Barney Frank, a former member of the United States House of Representatives. Not only that, he's actually part of the board for Signature Bank. If you go to the mainstream media, you're going to see things like this, you know, from the New York Times, risky bet on crypto and a run on deposits tank Signature Bank. Not what's happening. And then you have CNBC going, regulators close crypto-focused Signature Bank, citing systemic risk. That's not what's happening. And then you have, again, the Washington Post going, SBV collapse show fickleness of crypto money. Like, it's not that. It's not what's happening. They're taking advantage of the situation and trying to bundle all these things in. If you're going to talk SBV, if you're going to talk about Silicon Valley Bank bad decisions, well, they're giving out really risky loans. They're giving millions, like over $70 million to Black Lives Matter and all sorts of different organizations that they didn't have to spend that money on. They could have hedged against all of these risks, but they didn't do that. They were just focused on skyrocketing. If you take a look at port on Q4 of 2022, you're going to see that, hey, their numbers spiked up only to come crash back down. It's ridiculous what's happening. Not only that, let's take it a step further. You have people like the Arizona Senator Mark Kelly saying that he wants to censor social media. He was on a call asking, what can we do to censor social media to avoid misinformation? That is beyond ridiculous. I mean, this is exactly what caused Twitter files. This is how it all starts. It is not a healthy thing for us to do in this space now. And this is exactly what they're looking for. So if you're looking for real information, I would now actually only go to Twitter, because you're getting the opposite message from everywhere else. Why? Why are we seeing something like this? Why did crypto soar when all of these things are breaking out? All of this terrible crypto news? Well, because you got people with big money going, you know what? We're going to take care of things. Whenever people are going to try to attack us, we're going to go ahead and step up, which is what CZ did. Given the changes in stablecoins and banks, Binance will convert the remaining of 1 billion Industry Recovery Initiative funds from BUSD to native crypto, including BTC, BNB, and ETH. Oh, you guys are going to mess with us? You guys are going to screw us over and say that crypto's not reliable? Watch me. We're going to toss a boatload of cash into crypto, and there's nothing you can do about it. This is a crazy time for us to be in crypto. I just hope you guys stay ahead of the news. And I literally mean ahead of the news, because a lot of the news that you're getting is not what is actually taking place. It's news that is being, for lack of a better word, fabricated to please the people who are in power and to take whatever it is that we're doing down. Another wonderful report from Action, right? Sorry guys, I know it's a rough one. If you guys don't mind sharing this video, giving it a like, leaving a comment down below, let me know what you think about this whole ordeal, because it's ugly. It's really ugly, and it doesn't seem to be getting better. It's, you know, it's actually getting worse by the day. So if you guys got comments, you know, or concerns, things you guys are uncovering yourself, figuring out, learning about, love to hear from you all. Thank you all so much, and I will see you on the next video.